Hey there, guys. Sister Cerise here. So, there's a lot going on out there. A lot. Right now, I'm in the Dominican Republic. Oh, drinking some really good tea. I grab these leaves off the trees. I get myself some mango leaves, some soursop leaves. I get myself some every leaf you can think of. Moringa, I think it's called in English. And I drink this tea and I love it. I wish I could export it to you guys from the Dominican Republic. So what's going on, guys? Let me know in the comments below when you guys are tuning in, where you guys are watching this from. There's a lot going on with those Diddy Trial Vloggers. Man, I have to say, they're going to be famous. They are going to do well for themselves if they are smart. And as a soul coach, I would love to encourage each and every one of them, if they happen to see this video by any chance, to get your notes and create books with them, audio books, anything of that nature. And they will definitely sell. The real reason why Cassie was trying to sell her book, and Kim Porter was writing one, and so many other people, because obviously books sell, especially audiobooks. Now, I have a few vloggers there on the thumbnail, and I wanted to talk about those specific vloggers. Now, I know that there are a lot of other vloggers that were following the Diddy trial, but those on the thumbnail are the specific ones that I was following. Now, I do want to just give shouts out to Armand Wiggins. All my Wiggins, we're bringing the tea. I want to give him a shout out because you know what? I went on ChatGPT, and I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to show you guys what ChatGPT said about the vloggers. Now, you just put in on ChatGPT. No, hold on, guys. Hey. Tranquila, por favor. Okay? Talking to my dog. All right, so let's look at these vloggers. And if you just put in to ChatGPT Diddy Vloggers, you're going to see okay, it's not coming up now. So let me go back to what I had done earlier, and I'm going to read this to you. Give me one moment. Vloggers at Diddy's trial. Now, you guys will never believe who comes up first. Armand Wiggins. Yes, Armand Wiggins. Congratulations. It says, vloggers like Armand Wiggins. It says right here. Look. I don't know. I'm using Claude. That's who I use. I also use ChatGPT. So congratulations, Armand Wiggins. Now, I do want to say there's a lot of vloggers going viral right now. So I'm just going to say exactly what I thought about each one in my thumbnail. Tisa, I'll just start with the most viral one right now. And I got a vibe why she's going viral. There's a lot that she did in the Black community that was kind of trashy, but at the same time, very classy in the way she did it, if you will. Okay. For a lot of the supporters, they're looking at her now, and they're like, yo, you dragged the man through the mud and you were really biased throughout your reporting. But we got to give her credit because she was there every single day of that trial. And she showed up and she got in and she did her job. But me as a spectator, here in the Dominican Republic, I was really relying on vloggers to not be biased, especially when she said, the feds, he's working with the feds. And I don't believe that, because anyone working with the feds is going to get off completely. And it made me think something. Well, who's she working with? She may be working with the feds, because where's she getting all that information from that she was getting from the very start? She says she broke the story, but of course she didn't break the story. She just had a lot of the information that a lot of the other vloggers were not getting. And I'm like, where's this woman getting all this information from? And then when the charges were being dropped, some of them, I was like, yo, how does she know this? She was the first one to bring it out before 8 o'clock in the morning, before the courts were even opened. Who told her this information? We have to really think deep. Who told her? Like, I know she does her research. I know she does her reporting, and I'm not trying to call anyone down. So don't get me wrong. I actually did a video about her a few weeks ago, telling people to take it easy on her, because I'm like, just let her spin whatever narrative she's spinning and what her feelings are. People were like, you're just spinning a narrative for the media, blah, blah, blah. And I did a video saying, no, let the girl be. But then when I started to notice that she was doing a lot of clickbait information on her thumbnails, and then when I clicked onto the video, and it wasn't just clickbait, and she literally was saying that, yeah, Diddy, told Diddy was working with the feds. That's not how it works, sweetheart. Not at all. I think someone else is working with the feds. I don't know where you're getting your information from. You're getting a lot of information, and you're getting it before the courts are open, and you're getting it before a lot of people. So I'm wondering where you're getting that information from. You had first-hand, front row view in the courtroom all the time, and I can remember Tisa when she was actually just showing her little emoji. She wasn't even showing her face yet. And I would watch her channel on the Kardashians and everything like that. And then it was nice to actually see her take off. But then when I saw her at the trial, I started to see a change, and I stopped watching her. You can't please all the people all the time. Just some of the people some of the time, like Bob Marley says. But she really did lose my interest. Not my respect necessarily, still working on that one, but she really lost my interest with her high power, too over the top energy. She wasn't sticking to the facts as she was reporting enough, and she was having fun. I mean, it was exciting. Come on, let's just face it, right? But at the same time, a lot of the information just seemed too biased, and her trying to use her intuition more than anything else. Now, there were a lot of vloggers coming out and going against her. And I think, again, it's because she was being too biased, and there were a few lies coming out. Was she lying in order to get views? I don't see why she would, because she doesn't need to. She has a very loyal following from a lot of those women. And I think, she doesn't need to lie at the end of the day. Not at all. Let me see if I can hear myself here. And then I'm going to go on to the next vlogger. So yeah, congratulations, Armand Williams. You are the #1 vlogger in the Diddy trial, according to ChatGPT. Look yourself up and you will see for yourself. Look yourself up and you will see for yourself. Okay. Yourself up and you will see for yourself. So now we got Neek at night. I just think she's a sweetheart. She showed up 2 weeks after the trial started. She's like, I'm getting in. She found out how easy it was to actually get into the overflow. And, she didn't complain. She didn't call Tisa down for, Tisa being privileged in the courtroom. That's what it was. Tisa was privileged. And again, I think it's because maybe she's working with somebody as well. I don't know if she's working with the feds, the government. I don't know where she's been getting her information at since all of this even started. I do know that when she was in that courtroom looking Diddy straight in his eyes, Diddy knew who she was, because don't kid yourself. I'm pretty sure Diddy was watching a lot of the vloggers and a lot of what was being said about him before he even entered that courtroom or got arrested, because he was at a very vulnerable state of mind. He kept asking Jane Doe to just be his friend, just be easy on him, and he was upset. So I know that he was probably spending a lot of time watching some of the vloggers, and he knew Tisa very well. And apparently another vlogger said that she said he was staring her down. Of course he was staring her down. He probably looked at her and caught eyes a couple of times to be like, girl, like, chill out a little bit. And another thing, Neek at night, I really do appreciate her energy. I'm probably going to keep going back to Tisa because I'm going to compare each one to Tisa. I guess Tisa's just going viral now for a lot of drama and negativity, but the other ones aren't. So, Neek, she did a live today and she was just saying, that the vloggers need to get along, and she was explaining it to a T. There were people that were paying people to stay in a lineup for them. And I think these will be things that will be addressed in another court case. God forbid there's another court case. I can't see that there's going to be another court case as huge as the one we just experienced with Diddy. But you never know, right? I mean, there's always somebody doing something. So I thought she was very fair and I thought she was good. I mean, she went, and she has a daughter, and she still went and she chilled out there and she did her thing. Now, Armand Wiggins became someone that I started to follow during the trial and really appreciate it. I like the way he gave his fair reporting, and it was funny. You could always look forward to that when the court day was over. I would look forward to his lives. I'd be like, okay. And I'm telling you, they were so comical. And he really put on a good show and he was fair with his reporting. Whether or not he was on Diddy's side, a supporter or not, I thought he was really great at what he did and he came through. And that baby oil thing was really funny as well. Him being after the show, after the whole entire court case and everything, he was out and, he took off his top and he put baby oil on. This was an epic event. This was like weeks of putting yourself into a court case every single day, changing your schedule, going there and making sure you report it, make notes, And he was doing all of that very diligently every day. And it was a party at the end. So what? Who cares? And then the negative reporting against him, I think, was unnecessary. But he did his job and he was great. And I really do love him. And I am a loyal follower of his channel. And I will continue to follow his channel. And I obviously there's not going to be much more content about Diddy in the next couple of months, but I'm pretty sure that he can still come up with some Diddy content because the Diddy content's not going to end anytime soon. And he was, again, very funny. And I would encourage him to take whatever notes he has and make an audio book out of it, because that would make a lot of money for him. A lot of these vloggers are going to make some good money if they use their notes and their common sense to the best of their ability. Now let's move on to Trent Out Loud. Trent Out Loud, I really liked him. Oh, wait, before we move on to Trent Out Loud, let's compare the Tisa and the Armand Wiggins. I do believe that Tisa didn't want to have anything to do with Armand Wiggins. Armand Wiggins was like, I didn't know. Like, first when I saw her, she was cool. And then afterwards, she didn't talk to me. She didn't say anything. And then she started to, she gave me a shout out for my birthday. And then she gave me some inspiring words. Yeah, I do believe that Tisa wants to be the number one vlogger. She wants to be the one with all the information. She wants to be the one on top. But I mean, is there anything wrong with that? At the end of the day, this is a competitive world, but you can see that she does want to be the one on top of everything. And she could see that he was good and he was, attracting a lot of attention and people were loving him. And I guess she realized if you can't beat them, just join them. And that's that situation, Armand, you were right when you were like, I don't know, I couldn't read her. Listen, if you can't read a woman and she's not talking to you and she all of a sudden starts ignoring you and she's not the way she is when she's on her live saying hi to everyone that's passing by, hi, good morning, and she's not doing that to you, there was an issue of some kind for a moment. And then she realized that she was probably being petty. And she probably realized too that she might as well keep you as a friend because she was already losing a lot of other vloggers' respect and love, admiration. She probably went there thinking that everyone was going to be like, yeah, embrace her because of her viewers. And, her channel is a very popular channel. And she was the one who was giving out all of the Diddy information. And a lot of us were watching. So I think that she thought that she was going to be like just held up to a high standard. And I think she quickly realized that she wasn't and decided that, I better hold on to some of the vloggers that I already, made some type of a rapport with. And that was that friendship thing. Just my opinion. I'm just alleging that myself. I'm just saying, if you felt a little something for a moment, there was something there for a little moment. I saw it on your live and you were very honest and open about that. And I thought that was really fabulous. Now, Neek, even though she, wants to hold it down, she doesn't want to get too rough and raw. She doesn't want to be catty. I know that her going into that overflow room constantly was probably not fair. She should have at least had a seat, and Tisa should have been in the overflow room every now and again too. They should have done something like, recycle the vloggers, because there were a lot of vloggers there that should have been front and center as well. And I do believe for this reason that it could be that she was working with the feds or the government somehow, some way, because she was getting way too much information. And again, when those charges were dropped, she was hot to trot. She came right on before court started. Didn't even show her face, just left a voiceover. And she's like, the Diddy charges have been dropped. Some of them have been dropped. And, and I was like, it's not even 8 o'clock yet, girlfriend. How did you get that information? Like, how in the world did you get that information? That's some Fed level information. So that was quite interesting. And, she stuck to her side and remained biased the whole entire trial. So that told me that there was a side she was working with. But, she got to go on the legendary media shows. And I guess that was really good for her. She always wanted to get on Nancy Grace, and they remind me of each other. So maybe that was a great thing for her. And by the way, just to back up a little bit, Neek, congratulations on going on CNN, girl. I want to see you rise up because you have a good, solid character. You're just cool, calm, and collected. I know you've been doing your channel from time. And I do believe that because you recognized some shortcomings in the whole lineup thing, people paying other people to stay in the lineup, you recognize some things and your channel will get heard. And I do believe that if there's ever another trial like this again, then you definitely will be heard. And I do believe some changes will be made. Again, I hope there's not another trial like this because this was a big one. Now let's get Trent Out Loud. Okay, so Trent Out Loud, another Canadian. I was so proud of him. He was doing his thing. He's so Canadian. I'm thinking he's like from Brampton, Toronto, but for sure he's from like those neck of the woods. He's like close to Toronto somewhere, Scarborough or something. Those were my stomping grounds when I lived in Toronto. I left Toronto 7 years ago to move to the Dominican Republic. And here I am a vlogger on a different channel. And I'm a vlogger on this one as well. But on this one, I just love entertainment news. So that's the reason why I do entertainment news. Been watching entertainment channels ever since I was younger on TV. So I thought, why not start one, right? I have a crime channel as well. And I also have a spiritual channel as well because I'm a soul coach. So I dabble with all these different little topics on all different platforms on YouTube. But I have to tell you, Trent, man, when I found out he was Canadian, I was like, I could tell he's Canadian, just the way he talks, just how fair he's trying to be, but also being very unbiased. Excited in the mornings, talking about himself as well, sharing a little bit about himself with us, which I think is important when it comes to a vlogger. Share a little bit about yourself because it's nice just to know somebody aside from just their videos that they're putting out, like what do we really know about Tisa? What do we really know? She just gave it out that she has a boyfriend that paid for her security guard, but she won't even tell anybody her sign. She won't tell anybody anything private. There's something up there, something up. And it's getting more and more difficult for me to trust her. But this live is not about that because, again, I already made a video a few weeks ago saying to people, just leave her alone. Like, let the girl do her job, I'm going to get more into her as well because, again, she is going viral negatively right now. And I really want to touch on that. So, yeah, congratulations, Trent. You really came out loud, no pun intended, and you really showed what the Canadian flavor is all about. And I'm a loyal subscriber to you now as well. Okay, then we had Conversations with Jay. Conversations with Jay is amazing as well. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, I'm pretty sure you do, but it's KHAN Versations with Jay. He also just gives it unbiased information and he reported a lot. One video that really made me subscribe to him was actually two things. One of my viewers, Lindell Williams, said, you got to check out this video. It explains Rico to the T. So I did. And once I did, it was on Conversations with Jay on his channel. And I was like, wow, yeah, there's a lot of good information here. And it was really speaking about what it is. Yes, the charges did seem like they were Rico, but because they were kind of ridiculous, the government shot themselves, they really should have gotten, like, if they really wanted to get Diddy, they should have brought different charges. They tried to take him down and take his money, and that's what made me think, oh, this is a black man being targeted. This is not about anything else. This is not Rico. These charges, they may fit a little bit, but hey, anybody can push a circle inside of a square, but it doesn't fit. You can force it, but it still doesn't feel right. And I was like, no, this is something different. This is the takedown of a black billionaire. And I don't think he's working with the feds. Ladies, por favor, ven aquí. Ven aquí. No, tranquila. Siéntate. Sorry, my two dogs. So yeah, I just, once I started to really look at his videos, I thought to myself, this kid is on to something. And I really appreciated his information and his research. So I would encourage you guys to also watch his videos as well. He's very thorough, and he has a lot of thought provoking videos as well. And and so that's Conversations with Jay. Now, I saved the best for last, my best for last, but I'm still going to continue to talk. I just wanted to go down the list first, and then I'm going to revert back to each one of them. So let me see here. Back. Oh, I didn't bring my glasses out. I got to squint. Thank you. Jesus Christ is coming back again. Did you take the COVID shot? Who? Me? Take the COVID shot? I live in the Dominican Republic. The whole entire world closed down. No, I didn't take the COVID shot at all. I didn't fall for that. No, I don't fall for all that stuff. Okay, I'm 53 years old. I don't believe in all that. I do believe in government conspiracies, and I don't like to talk about conspiracy theories because most of them are proven in the long run. Like, the Black Panther conspiracy theory, look it up, just Google it. And you'll see that they were doing great as a group until the FBI went and infiltrated them. And everyone's like, that's just a conspiracy theory. Well, theories are usually proven true. And now, if you do your research on the COVID shot and all these strains that are coming out and everything, I'm not going to go stand in line and volunteer. I didn't even go get tested for anything. I'm not going to let someone stick a whole entire stick up my nose and almost touch my brain. I'm not going to do that either. So I do believe that they will find a way to get everybody injected somehow, some way. But until then, yes, I didn't go for my shots. Here in the Dominican Republic, we were on lockdown. The whole entire airport was closed for 3 months. We were all really safe. We had to wear these masks. Some of the masks were made from the locals that of like material. It was the most comical thing. We couldn't, I'm like, how is this supposed to stop an epidemic, right? But anyway, I digress. Let me get back to my favorite one out of all of them. The podcasts with Soul. Sean G. Oh my gosh. He's a little mix of them all. Okay. Except for Tisa. He's calm, cool, like Nika at night. He's very demonstrative. Like he demonstrates what he's talking about too. Like how Armand Wiggins is. He's very factual, the same way as Conversations with Jay, but he's also very unbiased, like how Trent Out Loud is. And I really loved him because he was just a multitude of everything. I loved watching him, and I still watch him. I go back and I rewatch his videos because they're so interesting. Now, and he's also in my age group, right? I'm 53. I think he's 56 or something of that nature, 57. And he also is a coach of sorts. And so I really did appreciate his take on things. And I'm still loving how he's still coming out the gate. Today on Instagram, I even went and followed him on Instagram. And that's something I normally wouldn't do to anyone. Like, I'm not that person that's going to be a groupie, right? But this is a different situation. This is epic. This is classic. This will never happen in our time again, I believe. So I went and I followed him on Instagram to see his content on there as well. And today there was a photo of him with baby oil and that glide stuff. And he's like, it was too comical. I was like, oh man. And we need that. We need that type of humor. We need to be like, yeah, man, let's keep having fun. And, I was never a Diddy supporter. I was never a Jay-Z supporter. I did like some Biggie songs, but I was always a Tupac supporter. I love Tupac, right? And I enjoy Tupac songs, right? But there's a lot of songs I loved of Diddy, but Diddy just rubbed me the wrong way all those years. But now hearing his text messages in court, hearing how he really was looking out for the girls and how he kind of got caught up with some trifling situations, just kind of humanized them to me. Ladies, tranquila. My dogs. Let me show you my dogs. They're like so excited because I never do videos out here on my terrace. Come here, Ben. No, Noche wants me to show you her. Hold on. Here's Noche. Oh, there's Noche. Noche, look at the camera. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. That's Noche. That's Noche. Noche means night. Okay. Luz, Ben, Benaki. Luz is just brand new, 2 weeks. So she's like just a little tiny girl. You want to stay here for a moment? Okay, you can stay for a moment. She'll get back down. She's probably going to get back down right now. Nope. She's stopping herself from falling. Okay, hold on. There we go. Tranquila. Tranquila, por favor. Gracias. So I speak Spanish to my dogs, my pets. I also have a cat because if we're outside, then, they do something, they have to understand a command from a Dominican or a Haitian. All right. So yeah, podcast with Soul, really great. Okay, you got to get down, baby. Now, speaking of, Dominican Haitian, it reminded me of another point, and that was Tisa saying that she was Black. I watched a video today from another vlogger, and he was saying that she is not Black, which she doesn't have to be to report the Diddy trial. But apparently she was saying the N-word. And that to me shows a certain surface ignorance. I'm mixed with Black, white, and Native. Mi'kmaq, Canadian. My white side is Scottish. I've never been to Scotland. My Black side is from West Africa, Sierra Leone. And they were slaves, and they were taken to the United States. And when they went to the United States, they fought against slavery with the British when the British went to go fight. Apparently, they were called the British Black Battalion. I really don't know the whole entire history, but my mom used to teach me it. They lost, and they were promised land. If they won, they were promised land in the United States. The United States would not have been the United States any longer, but the United States won. If they lost, then they were promised land in Canada. And that's what happened. My Black ancestors went to Canada, and they were given land in Nova Scotia. And that's where they met the white Scottish. Nova Scotia actually just means New Scotland. When they went over from Scotland, the white people went there. And then the natives that were there, they were Mi'kmaqs. So I got those three mixes, and I happen to get the recessive gene. There's a lot of kids in my family. There's 5 of us, and we all range in color and hair texture. I have a sister that's a little darker than me, but she has straight hair. I came out fair skin and with red hair. The reason why my name is Cerise means cherry in French. It means cherry in English. So, I consider myself a Black, fair-skinned woman. As silly as it sounds, I know I look white, but all my life I had to fight for my right to be considered even a little bit what they call here mulata, half-breed. Here in the Dominican Republic, they ask me if I'm Dominican. They're like, tú eres Dominicana? Like they notice something in me. And I'm like, no, but I'm mixed with Black. And they're like, oh, wow, okay. And they can see it. In Canada, no one ever saw it. They would ask me if I was Russian, I guess because of my high cheekbones, which I get from my native side. But to hear someone use the N-word just breaks my heart. I don't care how dark they are or how white they are, and they feel like they can use that word because they are around a lot of the brothers and the sisters and they're accepted as black. When I heard that Tisa's not black, it didn't bother me. Cassie doesn't consider herself black. So I was like, okay, all right. But then when I heard she's using the N word a lot, I thought, yo, man, that's not cool. And she shouldn't laugh it off at all. She should be in a mindset where she understands the history. You know, history is very important. And that N word should never be used. Where I live right now, there's a lot of Haitians. And the Haitians are the ones that, hold on, Luz, tranquila. And the Haitians are the ones that, fought against slavery. And if it wasn't for the Haitians, slavery would not have stopped. And so you see, well, maybe it would not have stopped. I mean, obviously, it would have stopped at some time. But if it wasn't for them fighting, then slavery would have ended probably a long time after. And Haitians are still fighting. And we don't use that N word here in the Dominican Republic. It's just not a word that they use. They use negrita as a little cute word like negrita. Negra means black, negra or negro. It just means the color black. And sometimes they will call their dog, if their dog is black, negrita, if it's a little black chihuahua, or something of that nature. But they don't call each other negro, you know. Marena, they will say marena. It's a cute word for someone who's dark skinned. Marena, mareno, And this is they don't use the N word here. They will say mulata, mulatto, which means half breed, something like that. So when I heard that about her, I realized that that's another nail in the coffin for me. So there's got to be some things that need to change, and hopefully she will humble herself once she starts seeing that she's going viral in a negative way. Hopefully she will look at her behavior and say, yeah, maybe I could have humbled myself. She was in the same courtroom as Diddy's children. And then, looking at them in their face and and then going outside and acting like they're not going to be watching her videos. Diddy's working with the feds. Diddy's working with the feds. And it's like, no, he's not. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got time. And what? The jurors were for nothing? And then she spoke badly about the jurors. She's like, the jurors are just old. We can't have people on the stand any longer and the jury box any longer that are old. What does that have to do with anything? I'm 53 years old and I got some good sound common sense. And if I'm sitting somewhere and I'm watching something, I'm as an observer, I can call things out, and that showed me another side of her ignorance as well. And I thought to myself, yeah, I can understand now why she's going viral in a negative light. But I don't think that means that people have to beat up on her. I think that she can turn that around for herself just by maybe being unbiased, just by saying, okay, the charges are what they are. Let's move forward now and move on. I don't think that she looks out for women who are DV. I don't think so at all. I think it's just a bandwagon she jumped on. But I do believe she's working with the feds. I do. She just got too much information. She gets it from somewhere. This stuff can't even be researched, the stuff that she's getting. Like when the charges were dropped, how did she know? Even Armand Wiggins came on and he was like, wait a minute. And he put a little post and at 8:30 and he's like, we still haven't heard that 8:30 in the morning. And we still haven't heard that there's been any drop charges. How come she was the only vlogger? There's something up with that. And, So with all that being said, though, I do want to say this is an epic time for a lot of these vloggers, and I'm so proud of most of them that, kept it real, went there every single day. They had their pens, they had their paper, they relaxed, and they went out for break. It was like going to school for them as well, because they were learning. Their whole entire schedules were turned upside down. Like Neek, what's her name? Neek at night. She has a daughter, and she gave up her whole entire life to go watch that trial. So I thought it was like a really, really awesome situation with all of them. And I thought, hey, stop it. Come here. Sit down. Siéntate. So I thought it was like a really good thing for her to do that. It showed dedication to their channels. It showed dedication to us, the viewers, the people who subscribe to their channels, and the people who honor their content and enjoy what they're bringing to the table. So congratulations to all of them. Now, all the other vloggers out there that are fighting and arguing, and I heard about someone by the name of Ratman, and they're talking about him having an affair with another vlogger who, I'm not going to get into all that on here. But you know, it is what it is. I think Ratman is going viral right now for actually going at Tisa Tells. And there are a lot of vloggers coming out right now that's going to be doing the same thing. So just my little advice to you, Tisa, just the results came out, and the charges are what they are. You don't need to make up thumbnails for clickbait and lies that come in your head unless you really are working with the feds and you really are getting information that we don't know about, but maybe the information that you're getting was true, but they switched it up because they changed the plan, the feds changed the plan or whatever. You're getting a lot of information from somewhere. So if you're not lying, then, I don't know what to say, because some of these things that you're saying are actually true, like throughout the whole Diddy, before the court came, you were like, Diddy's getting charged. Diddy's getting charged. The feds are going for Diddy. And you knew a lot. So it makes me wonder. But if you are working for the feds, it doesn't make you an evil person. It just makes you exactly like what you said Diddy is doing, so you can't really call other people out if you're doing the same thing yourself. And yeah, again, I don't think Diddy is working with the feds. So yeah, all of these vloggers out there right now, they have done an amazing job, and I'm very proud of them all. You guys hit that like button for me, because I'm doing this video for you. The sign on the gate at the train station to Mars will say, "Work will set you free." I just happened to see that one. Okay. Let me see. I was at the trial every day watching the world 777. Yeah. Wow. You were at the trial every single day as well. Congratulations, because that was like not an easy thing to do. Having to get up every single day. It doesn't matter if you were a Diddy supporter or just someone that wanted to see him go down. The fact that you got up every single day, went to that courthouse, spent your time there for the whole entire day, I think is pretty awesome. Right. But like I said, I had my favorite vloggers. At first, I was just watching Tisa and Law and Crime Network. I won't even now, after the Diddy trial, I won't even watch the Law and Crime Network any longer at all, not even for their crime. Never mind law. I used to watch them. I used to like Jesse Weber. I used to like Elizabeth. I still like Elizabeth. I think Elizabeth, was pretty fair with her reporting. I think she found a lot of it really comical and funny, which I was like, good. I love Elizabeth, but I wish Elizabeth had her own YouTube channel. She was the reporter for Law and Crime Network, but I will never watch Law and Crime Network again because I felt that they were looking to get the black man. They were, and they had Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a black woman. So they had a black woman doing the reporting, the token black woman. It was so obvious. And Jesse Weber's like, God forgive me, but I think he's a short guy. Not that there's anything wrong with the short guy, right? But I just, I look at him and I'm thinking, this guy is like got a short man syndrome. The way he just sits back like the Wizard of Oz and tries to talk badly about everybody. And I think he just dragged Diddy down a little too much. Now, I'm not saying that Diddy is innocent at all. I do know and I am aware that there will probably be more charges. As a matter of fact, another vlogger just brought out information about some blonde woman. She didn't want to say her name for the longest time, but now in order to do the civil charges that she has against Diddy, she said she was 17 years old and she went to Diddy's place or something of that nature. And Diddy and a whole bunch of other people ran a train on her. And they all took turns with her. And she was 17 years old. And I don't think she's lying. I think that this was many years ago. I guess it was 2020. And these guys were all doing that, not just Diddy. A lot of the guys were doing it. I can remember my friend, okay, in Toronto. She went to a Kanye West performance. Kanye West took a whole bunch of girls back to his hotel room, and she was one of them. She stole his chain, his Marc Jacob diamond necklace. And she told me exactly how she did it. And I saw it. I literally held the necklace. I was like, whoa, it was long necklace, came down to about here. And it was little diamonds. And it was really nice. And she was holding it in her hand. I didn't try it on. I just looked at it in my hand and I was like, wow, that's Kanye's. At the time I was on the radio myself. She was not on the radio. She was not like a video hoe or anything like that either, but she ran with a group of girls that were probably, you could compare them to like Cassie and the rest of those type of girls, right? Real groupies. And just kind of going to parties, having fun with a lot of people that would come to town, a lot of the American athletes that would come to town and stuff of that nature. And she had Kanye's chain. She stole it right out of his knapsack. And she also saw some of his papers that he wrote, his lyrics on. She saw lyric papers and he had them all in a knapsack, in like a Gucci knapsack or something of that nature, or, some type of Louis Vuitton knapsack or something. And he was sleeping and she was sleeping in the same bed as him and other girls. Okay. So she reached over him. He was sleeping hard and she zipped open the bag, dug in it for something. She got the chain and she took off. He ended up getting it back. That's the reason why I can tell the story. He ended up getting it back. He ran her down for that chain and she wasn't about to give it back because he couldn't prove that she took it. But she did end up giving it back anyway. She's a cool chick. These days she's spiritual, but this was so many years ago, like 20 years ago. And she's a spiritual chick now. She lives out in the countryside, off the grid, changed her life. Pretty awesome woman, but she definitely took the chain from Kanye. Did I say Diddy? Not Diddy. From Kanye. And yeah, Kanye was so angry about it. Him and his people were contacting her first. They contacted her friend because she wasn't the one that slept with Kanye. Her friend slept with Kanye, but they all ended up sleeping in the same bed. So they were obviously doing substances and they were obviously, drinking that night and everything. Now, again, I'm not one to do substances. I worked on the radio, so I always had to make sure that I kept my nose clean, and pun intended. I've never tried that stuff in my life. But I don't know what substances she was doing that night, but I do know that they all slept in the same bed. They were partying hard, and he was sleeping hard when she stepped over him and grab the chain. And it wasn't just a story she told me. I literally saw the chain and held it in my hand. And I was like, whoa. And it was heavy. It was real diamonds. You could see it was real diamonds. And it was a Marc Jacob necklace. And Mark, I think Marc Jacobs. Yeah. And back in the day, they used to all go to that same jeweler. So it was actually quite interesting to hear, this girl's story about Diddy in 2020. And it's like, well, yeah, all of those guys were doing that. They all were getting these girls. These girls were like 17 years old, 18 years old, they were opportunists. They were young girls and they were trying to go to hotel rooms to get with these men to, maybe become a trophy wife. And that's a very average thing. I dated a raptor before back in my day. Sounds like a good time. What is your name? Are you talking? No, you guys are not talking to me. I don't think you're talking to me. What does she do for? What does she do for the charge? Yes, right. She did something. Um, I don't know if you're talking to me, but anyway, she gave back the chain. But that's what everyone was doing back in the day. They were just having fun, and it wasn't like how it is today, how people are getting canceled, how people are doing the Me Too movement, how people are just, looking at that like, whoa, that's not right. Even if you look at some of the commercials from the 80s, you'll be like, whoa, like our minds are mortified at watching some of the video commercials from the 80s. We're like, wow, so times have changed. And these people that are coming out talking against Diddy now, 25 years later, it really makes you think, okay, well, yeah, he probably did do it 25 years ago. He's 50 now. He's in his 50s now. What, 56 or whatever, 57 or something. Of course, 25 years ago, he would be doing that stuff, but I don't think that he would be doing it now. So it is quite sad that a lot of these females did experience this stuff. And I do believe that Diddy has done quite a few questionable things. I do believe this. But in this situation, I don't believe that it was Rico. I don't believe that he was working with the feds. And I don't even believe that he should be charged without Cassie being charged. And I don't think that he had to give her that $30 million because it all came out in the end anyway. And now she's gone off into the sunset with that money. And that was a lot of money to give her. He tried to hush it all up, but she still went on stand. And I'm thinking to myself, did she go on stand because she really hates him? And I'm thinking, no. Because when she was on stand, she said no, she doesn't hate him. So I'm thinking she had to go on stand to keep that money because it would have looked like extortion. It would have looked like she was blackmailing him because it was a book, that she was writing. And then she went and she got the civil lawsuit. And I'm like, it all seems like it was fed from the beginning. The feds were involved from the beginning. Like they literally opened up that time for her and other people to go get those wealthy men, Like, we're going to open up this little, time capsule, and you can go and charge the person now, or you can, go get what you need to get now. Tell us everything. And we're just going to open up a time capsule just for a little moment. We're just going to open the window for just a little time, and then we're going to close it again. That's not that's ridiculous. That's crazy. We really have to put our thinking caps on with that one and be like, why would they do that? They would open up the window for just a moment, and she just happened to get in on the last day of it. No, that's a setup. It was all a setup from the beginning. He's not a Fed. They wanted to get him. He has billions of dollars. And I don't want to say it's because he's a black man, but a part of me feels like it's because he's a black man. A part of me feels like there's something more to it. And I believe that, right now with Rock Nation as well, Jay-Z is in problems. I'm bringing out a video. I'll probably launch it tomorrow, and it's about Rock Nation. It's like 53 minutes long. It's the ins and outs of what's going on with Rock Nation right now, the 4 cases that he's involved in right now. And, Nicki Minaj is going after him. She's really accusing him of a lot right now. And then the Busby situation, Tony Busby, he sued Tony Busby. Tony Busby is trying to take him down. So there's those 2 cases. And then there's another case I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But Rock Nation is, the other case is not Jay-Z. It's the CEO, Desiree. Desiree, her daughter, is saying that she put her daughter in a mental institution. And if you watch the video of her daughter never took any substances, doesn't drink. She even got, blood tests and everything. Her daughter is very logical, and her daughter is not ill, but she had her daughter put away. And her daughter is saying that her mother misused her power and her money. And she's the CEO of Rock Nation. So Rock Nation is about to topple. Rock Nation is a huge entire business under one umbrella. They have athletes, they have artists, and they brand them, and they make each of those artists and those athletes their own empires as well. So they're pretty fascinating with the business, how they do their business model. And they are pretty intelligent as well, mighty intelligent, the way that they do everything. And I think that they have become a target because they're stepping on a lot of toes in the music industry. Because you have to remember, back in the day, it was more people who were white that were running all of the black artists back in the day. Clyde Davis, or whatever his name is, what was he in it for? Look what he did to Whitney Houston. Her body was dead, and he was partying downstairs. She was in a tub upstairs. That's what I heard, allegedly. So these are the things that have changed. And in also the sports world as well, a lot of the people who own those teams are very white, powerful men. And then you got someone like Jay-Z going in, and he is, he's getting a lot of the players, and the players are like, yeah, man, like, I'll go with Jay-Z, because Jay-Z is representing me. Jay-Z's a brother. He's already made it himself. And so Jay-Z is bringing a lot more money into the pockets of the artists instead of taking money out of their pockets. He's helping to brand these athletes. And I believe he's going to become a target, and that's going to be a big thing. They couldn't get him with the 13-year-old because she's a little, mentally ill, but they tried to bring him down with Diddy. 2 people at one time, two birds with one stone. They tried that, but he was like, no, you're not going to do that. You can't prove it. And so he sued Tony Busby. And Tony Busby is a civil attorney, and he was the one that was representing this 13-year-old girl. So we do have to, get ready for the Jay-Z era to come soon. Mm. And if that's going to be it, it's going to be a heavy one, because they're not going to they're not going to let him get away. This time what they will do is they will lay the charges right, because the government looked very foolish in the end with the Diddy trial. They laid the wrong charges on Diddy. It wasn't Rico. And a lot of people are like, it is Rico. It's Rico. It's Rico only because they made it sound like it's Rico. If he did even just one, it's Rico, of course. But that's not really, it shouldn't be considered Rico. Rico is a lot more of a serious charge, and it should be reserved for those serious charges. It should not be made a joke of. And in this trial with Diddy, it seemed like it was a joke. So I will say that, when they go after the next person, it's got to be someone big. And Rock Nation is huge. So they are probably going to go for the juggler. They're most likely going to go for the whole entire top tier. You got Desiree Perez, who is the CEO of Rock Nation. And then you also have Jay-Z, who is the face of it and co-creator. And then the one that helps the athletes is Juan Perez in English, right? So there's Desiree Perez, Juan Perez, and then there's Jay-Z. Those are the three top names there. So I believe that they're probably going to try to get Juan for something as well. Maybe for some type of betting and the athletes, or maybe doing something underhanded behind the scenes. And then they will have charges on each one of them. The 13-year-old one didn't work. Like I said, they tried to lump Diddy up with the 13-year-old and it just didn't work. But that's not how they're going to bring Jay-Z down. Jay-Z also, back in the day, I'm sure did some crazy things, but now he is changing his life over because he's mature now, and he's trying to become a person that's a leader. He's trying to help with human rights. He's trying to show people that, you have to make better decisions in life. And I do believe that he is doing his best right now to show the world that he is leading with his best foot forward. His daughter, Blue Ivy, is just so beautiful. She's just so amazing. I think it's so amazing that she's on the stage. She's dancing. Some people are like, she's too young. Well, entertainers start young, just like Britney did. And she's with her mom and her dad. So they're going to protect her, and they're going to make sure that she doesn't get tormented physically, mentally, and spiritually by people like Clyde Davis and the rest of them, who are the leaders of the old school. So she's being protected quite a lot. And I do believe that we have a lot to look forward to in the future when it comes to Blue Ivy. Unfortunately, Jay-Z, there are some things that businessmen do, and I hope that he is not involved in any circle of darkness that will come to light. Because if that is the case, then it's there right now waiting in the wings. And that will be the next one that will have to go and, go to court. And, so he's fighting tooth and nail right now with the lawyer, Busby, because he doesn't want to be accused of anything to do with a 13-year-old. And he's trying to show people that you can't come at him like that. And it might work out for him. I want you guys to watch my video. I'm gonna publish it tomorrow. It's called Rock Nation, and you'll see the thumbnail. On the thumbnail, it says Rock Nation, and it also has the three people on it. It has Jay-Z, Desiree Perez, and it also has Juan Perez. And I want you guys to watch that video because I really my microphone was running out. So I really want you guys to tell me what you think. Do you think that Jay-Z is being set up? After you watch that video, tell me in the comments. I think Jay-Z is going to be the next one, unfortunately, because I don't know who else is out there. Eminem has been keeping himself pretty quiet, and I don't know anyone else out there that is a strong black billionaire. Tyler Perry, I do believe. Hey, tranquila. I do believe that Tyler Perry is he's going to get into some problems, but right now they're civil suits and he's paying people off. He's gotten himself into some stuff, but he's paying people off. Um, Anyone else? I can't imagine. I mean, it could be a woman. Could you imagine if it's going to be Oprah? That would be crazy. Oh my gosh. But there are targets right now, and we have to just kind of sit back. This whole Diddy situation is epic. I want everybody to just, pray for everyone. The fighting with the vloggers right now is unnecessary, but I do understand it. I understand why Tisa is being targeted for many reasons. What she said about the jurors afterwards. I think this whole case was all about her, and it wasn't about the viewers. It was all about her. I thought it was funny when she's like, "Your Honor," and she got her merch and everything. But I also think that the podcast with Soul needs to bring out some merch called Sidebar, and bring out some nice mugs like this. Look, I got my mugs. There's my cat and my dog. There's my logo. You can get them online. If you guys want one of these Sister Cerise mugs, let me know. I can send them to you anywhere around the world. But yes, please let me know what you guys think about the video, Rock Nation. And who do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Let me see. Who do you think might be I am talking for you? You got politicians doing it. I don't have my glasses on. Okay. Diddy's 55. Oh, he's only 55. Okay. Lies. I don't know who said that. Oh yeah. They're gonna get Jay-Z. I need to get my glasses, guys. Hold on one second. This is better. It's called marketing. Okay. It's what you heard from who? Jay-Z, $1.2 billion man. Jay-Z makes them money. You're wrong, sister. I don't know, Rudy. Only Jay can bring Jay down as long as he keeps his nose clean. Okay. Trump. Oh, maybe Trump. It's right. He's head of government. Okay. What about Trump? He's a felon. Michael Jackson has passed. But they brought him down hard. Started young, blue. Yeah. Okay. Who does your hair? I do my hair. Natural curly. I'll tell you in a minute what I put in my hair. Kaboom. Guess who stepped in the room? Hey, lovely to have you here on this channel. What about Jeff Bezos? Jeff Bezos, he might be a target. You have food in your bracelet series. Do I? How's that? Do I? Let me go get a mirror. Was it back there? Thank you. Ah, I'm new to these braces. I can't wait to get them off. You know, Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk just might be the one. Go get your glasses. I did, Robert. How old are you, sister? I am 53. Hi, Grandma and Tina. I'm 53 years old. And I've been living in the Dominican Republic for 7 years now. I came here to write my book. I'm a writer as well. And I love the place so much, I never left. So I live here now. Beautiful view I have right here. I can show you guys. Let me just turn the camera around. Hold on. But you can't really see the view as beautiful as it usually is. There's the beach right there. This is a little community right here. Yeah. Let me turn the camera back around. So, yeah, guys, I'm just feeling to myself that there is going to be someone. You guys named some really good people, Jeff Bezos, but I don't know what they would get him on, but I could see that totally being a target because he's taken over everyone. But I'm pretty sure he's also paying everyone off. Facebook, dude, they already tried to take him down a lot, but I don't know. They can't take down the TikTok guys. That's China. Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk just is silently taking down himself. I don't know what's up with Elon Musk, but that's a sad situation that seems to be unfolding all on its own. And yeah, let me see. So you guys don't think I'll go visit soon? You'll visit here, Rudy? Rudy, let me see your last name. You look like you are Spanish. ¿Tú hablas español? Valdez. Rudy Valdez. Yeah, that's a Spanish name. Yeah, there's going to be more going on. They have other people targeted, but they're learning their lesson. Like with Diddy, they laid down all the wrong charges. They gave all the wrong charges. I do understand, just don't speak. Oh, okay. You understand. Well, that's half the battle. A lot of people speak it and don't understand it. A lot of people hear. And I speak it, but I don't always understand everything. So, but I get it. I mean, yeah, I'm fluent in Spanish enough now. But yeah, guys, I mean, if any of you guys are interested in coming to the Dominican Republic, like even if you just want to come down and chill out for like a month, I live in what you would consider a tourist area in Puerto Plata province. And it's a little area called Sosua. And I live in the local area. I live with the locals. I don't live in a gated community or anything of that nature. And I really do love living here. Did you hear the next news about Kim Jong-un? No. Tell me, please. Oh my gosh. Let me look it up here. I'm going to go look on ChatGPT. Update on Kim. Okay, I'm going to read it out loud for you guys as well. This is some information. I know that the United States is involved in a lot of stuff from around the world, and I know a lot of Americans are watching this. Here's the latest on Kim Jong-un and North Korea. Deepening Russia ties and troop deployments, Kim publicly honored North Korean soldiers killed in Russia's war in Ukraine, marking a rare recognition of military losses. South Korean intelligence estimates 15,000 troops were deployed with 4,700 casualties, including 600 dead, in the Kursk region. North Korea has reportedly sent over 6,000 more military style or engineering personnel to Russia and may send up to 30,000 additional troops, according to Ukrainian and South Korean sources. Interesting. Okay. Military advancements. Kim oversaw tests of a new anti-aircraft missile system in March, leveraging what analysts believe is Russian technology transfer. The regime continues to accelerate its nuclear weapons program indefinitely, including uranium enrichment efforts and hypersonic missile tests. A 5,000-ton destroyer experienced a botched launch in May. Kim labeled it a criminal act, arrested key officials. Okay, let me see. Is this what you're talking about? I hope this is what you're talking about. Kim is pursuing a dual track strategy, strengthening military ties with Russia. Whoa, including troops and arms exchange, showcasing domestic legitimacy through high-tech weapon programs and grand infrastructure to rally national pride. Whoa, guys, that's heavy. For those of you who don't know, Kim Jong-un is the dictator of China, and he is openly joining forces with Russia, beefing up Russia's military. And that is big. He has finally chosen a side because, of course, you know that the United States of America and the rest of the world supports the Ukraine. So if Kim has come out and said, hey, I'm sending troops there and they're making friends. Oh no, Kim Jong-un is North Korea. It's North Korea. He's North Korea. He's not China. I take all that back. Okay, I was mistaken. He's North Korea. Okay, I thought I was reading something about the Chinese dictator. No, he is the North Korean dictator. Okay, that makes sense because obviously he sent troops there. But, okay. But the fact that I had a Freudian slip, I do believe that that's going to turn out very differently. And I do believe that China somehow is going to support Russia as well. And if they do support Russia, then that means the line is drawn. You know, Russia has supporters and it's going to get pretty serious. You know, Trump, I don't know. Now I feel like I have something in my braces still. So here. I ate salad. and green just gets stuck in the braces. I apologize, guys, but hey, keeping it real. So Trump is at a time in history that is unprecedented. Like, it is just going down. The whole entire world is upset. Israel going over to Iran. There's a lot going on right now that really is going to, I think, turn out badly. But they say that every empire has about 300 to 400 years. And the United States is now at 245 years? Going on closer to 300 years. So it's not that they will be fallen. I don't believe that the empire is going to fall. I do believe that the United States is a very strong country. And but I do believe that they don't have the support of Canada, and they don't have the support of anybody on the West at all. So it's like they're their own country. And, France is just pretty much dealing with their own situation with the president of France. Everyone found out through Candace Owens that he married his high school teacher. The president of France married his high school teacher, which used to be a man. And Macron, he married a man. And apparently, Candace Owens broke that story. And I love Candace Owens. And she broke that story. And did you know that Trump called her? The president of France visited the United States, and they were going to support Trump and helping to end the Ukraine war. And France said, okay, can you just do me a favor, please? Tell your podcast, Candace Owens, to stop saying the things that she's saying. But Candace Owens had just finished her series. If you guys look Candace Owens up, she has a whole entire series of the president of the France or the prime minister, I think it is, of France. And she is going to town, and it all makes so much sense. She did her investigative reports, and it is pretty phenomenal. And the prime minister of France asked Trump to contact Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens didn't say anything about this. I believe it happened back in March or something, and she didn't say anything about it until recently, when she started to go against Trump, because she voted for Trump. She thought Trump would be a good president. But now that Trump is siding with Israel, she thinks he's a buffoon now. And so now she's like, oh yeah, you want to do that? Now I'm going to tell the whole world that you called me and you asked me to stop talking about France, which is so crazy, right? So that's one thing. So France is already a hot mess. Sorry, French people, but France is a hot mess right now. And I have some French clients, clients literally from France that I speak to as a soul coach. So, and they tell me how beautiful Paris is and how beautiful France is and how multicultural it is and how great it is. And for them, they just couldn't care less. Some of them are like, okay, well, if used to be a man, she used to be a man. But that's not the thing. She was with him when he was 14 years old. And she was his teacher, right? Or she, right? She had a sex change, apparently. And it was the teacher. So the prime minister or the president, I don't know, president, prime minister, you guys can correct me in the comments, of France, literally married his teacher, his school teacher. And she used to be a man. And so that's pretty, sensitive. That's a sensitive situation. And Greece is the only place, I think, right now that there's nothing really being said, anything negative about. Italy, nothing really negative about. Australia kind of went silent after the world opened back up. China's kind of quiet right now. And but I do believe that China is supporting Russia. I do believe that China is not speaking about it. China really is just trying to keep the peace with the United States, because China is making their own little gateway to get Taiwan back as a part of mainland China, because Taiwan, of course, has the semiconductors. And the United States may not care in another couple of years, because the United States is quickly working on their own semiconductors. I heard they're doing it in Texas. I heard that in Texas is a part right now where they are working on a lot of this stuff. And what are you talking about, lady Sophia? I'm talking soul coach and hates France. I don't hate France. He's a president, Macron. Yeah. What are you talking about, Keith? Keith is my brother's name and also my dad's name. I don't hate France. Hmm. How could you get that from what I'm saying? And I'm glad God is on our side. Where did you study political science, Keith? I didn't. I didn't. I used to date a guy back in the day who had his PhD. He was actually a Russian Jew and he had his PhD. So he used to do a lot of writing and he used to do a lot of lectures and stuff of that nature. And I used to be privy on a lot of those lectures and everything of that nature. So I know nothing about politics. I only know about intuition and gut vibes and gut feelings. But I have nothing against France, Keith. Nothing at all. I just said right now they're a hot mess. I'm not talking about them, but I do love Candace Owens. So if that makes me a hater, then I guess you can put me in that category all you like, because who I support is who I support. Who I like is who I like, right? And I do believe that Candace Owens is a very intelligent woman and she did her research on the president of France. So there we go, right? But yeah, no hating going on here. And, you really shouldn't bunch it up and say a soul coach and, because it just kind of shows your ignorance, right? Because a soul coach is somebody who loves God, but also has their own opinions and also can draw upon different choices in life. I mean, you show me a pastor that's perfect, a priest that's perfect. You show me a pope that's perfect. Anybody that is religious, deeply religious, you show me someone that's perfect and then do that, because no one is perfect. We all fall short of the glory of God. We all fall short of the glory of perfection, as we should. We are all here to learn, and we are all here to live, and we are all here to die. And with birth, life, and death, a lot happens in between. So yeah, if what I'm saying to you, you get that I hate a certain country, then I think your perception is completely skewed. That's my opinion. And yeah, so you ask political science? No, dated a dude. You shouldn't speak on what you don't know, Sophia King. And to help your neighbors not talk about them. Our neighbors, you shouldn't speak on what you don't know. What's your favorite viewpoint about Candace Owens? Keith. And Sophia King. I shouldn't speak on what I don't know. Well, you do know that none of us really do know much. We only know what we learn. And sometimes things that we learn, even in school, are not even the truth, right? So I'm speaking on something that I learned that someone else researched and has the receipts and proof for it. Okay, I'm not just making this up from the air. Sophia King. And Keith. Candace Owens, sometimes she's a little heavy. Sometimes she's a little bit much to take. But I love that she likes to tackle topics that other people don't. I don't like that the whole Weinstein thing, is that his name? I don't agree with her on that one at all. Weinstein, I think he is really creepy. And I think that her head is in the clouds when it comes to that. But that's just my opinion. I think she tackles topics that are controversial and she's not afraid. She just says what she says. And not only that, when she feels like she's wrong, she acknowledges it. And I think that's also very important. It's a very mature way of living your life. She felt like she was wrong with Trump. Whether she is, still a supporter or Israel or anyone of that nature, I guess that's to be seen in the future. But yeah, I'm not a Trump hater. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not from the United States. Canada right now is a huge hot mess. I never ever thought Canada would ever be in the position that it is in. And if there's any country in the world right now that we can all raise our eyes to, it's pretty much Canada right now. Canada, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who their allies are. They're turning their back on the United States. The United States does so much for Canada. Just because Trump is involved right now, it doesn't mean that you turn your back on the United States, the people of the United States, because the country is really the people. So if anything, I'm looking at Canada as really my own country. So this is what I like to talk about. Does denying the Holocaust scare you? No, the Holocaust is real. The Holocaust is real. Peace and blessings to you and your channel. Great content. Thank you, Talad. And content, much respect from Yonkers. Oh, thank you. And Sophia King, if you do your own research and you not go off others, you will get a better understanding instead of trying to go off of what someone else said. I don't know. I don't really. I'm going to be quiet on that one because I too can say things that are quite little, snide remarks sometimes. But I'm not going to allow you to bring that out of me because, I don't know you. And if you and I were to sit down and have a good little debate, then I think we would have a good little debate. But we're not going to do it right here, right now, because your grammar's not even proper, right? You brought that out of me. You're not going to bring much else out of me. But Candace Owens has doubts from my understanding. Yes, Keith, she does. She has doubts. You mean about Trump? Or do you mean just about what do you mean about doubts about what? I'm not even a political person. So one person just asked me about Kim, about the president or the dictator of North Korea. And I read it, and then that's how we ended up talking about this. So if you guys scroll back, you guys will see that that's how that came up. I didn't bring up politics, but I'm always open to talk about any topic at all because I love learning and I love, forming opinions. I think it's always important for us to be able to form an opinion. And even if we find out we're wrong in the long run, at least we tried to stretch our mind to having some type of an opinion. And even if it wasn't our own research, about the Holocaust, she has her doubts about the Holocaust? I didn't realize that. Well, Sophia, if you have country grammar, that's fine. Okay. But obviously you're not doing a lot of your own research or a lot of your own learning. Okay. So you're just here battling me and needling me, and I'm just giving my own opinion. Right. And I'm just saying, if you're telling me that I need to do research before you even know how to do grammar, kind of makes me think, how important is your comment? Right. So let's not go there. And Keith, I didn't realize that she had her doubts about the Holocaust. That's ridiculous. The Holocaust happened. I have a client that has a tattoo, a number, and the Holocaust happened. It definitely did happen. 100%. Schindler's List, that movie was not a joke. And, the whole entire Hitler was not a fairy tale. That was not it was really a Holocaust. And there are a lot of things in history that we should not deny or ignore. A lot of things in history. I mean, where I live right now in the Dominican Republic, there's a lot of history when it comes to Haiti. And I believe that the Haitians, a lot of them African slaves. And, I believe that they were really hurt by France and also by the United States. Don't come at me, guys. But, there's a lot going on there till this day. I can't figure out why this is taking so long for them to get help. And what I see every day here, people coming in here and they're just trying to escape their own country and no one is going in there. I don't get it. I don't get it. Haiti's not a very gigantic land mass, So, yeah, I do believe that there are people out there who maybe need to shake their head a little bit. Candace Owens, if she has her doubts about at the Holocaust, Keith, I find that disturbing. I find that very disturbing because her, out of all people, she should know that. Thank you. I appreciate your acknowledgement. You're welcome, Keith. And let me see. And the Dominicans took their land. What sort of Irish, Scottish slaves do they matter? Imperialism is awful from any nation. Haiti revolted and got consequences, which is sad. You're right, Keith. That is, and they're still paying for it till this day for actually, helping to end slavery. And I find that very sad. And I see a lot. Where I'm sitting right now, there's a Haitian building beside me. It's a squatter building. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you. Let me turn the camera around. It's getting dark here. I'm going to have to turn a light on. But I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hopefully no one's outside. Can you guys see that? So squatters live there, and they have very little running water. They have no hot water, and they can get picked up at any time by the police. They live in fear. They don't go outside. They're not criminals. They're there. There's children there. They play. And, so one of the people is legal. So they go out and they go out when they can. Sometimes 2:00 in the morning, some of the women will go out and, they will, it's like, I don't want to talk about this on this live feed. It's just the reality that I live here and I'm in the Dominican Republic and I don't want to beat up anyone and I don't want to choose sides. I'm a foreigner here, but some of the women have to prostitute and some of the guys, they will go and they have to do like construction and they'll do construction and they'll make like, $20 a day for an 8-hour shift. But that's considered a lot of money, even for a Dominican a day. But they're up on high roofs and they're not tied off and they don't have any equipment. They're working in flip-flops and, it's a dangerous situation. They get picked up and dropped off by their employer, who is usually a foreigner. And I really don't want to talk about it anymore because I've seen a lot here. I've seen like videos too of just some stuff, like videos that should be censored, people dying and machetes are used, stuff like that. And that's not what this country is all about. And that's not what I see a lot here. But because I live in the local area, Like my building is beautiful. My building is all foreigners. My apartment is modern. You wouldn't even know it's night and day. I have windows, bars, I have sliding doors. I'm looking at the beach. Um, and usually it's like over the tracks. That is where someone will say, oh, over the tracks is where the bad part of town is. Well, here, I'm looking at a gated community in front of me, and then the beach, and then on this side is a Haitian building, and then on the other side is a Dominican building, and this in the middle here is a foreigner building. And it's a lot to process, but I do love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But I do see a lot of pain, and I try my hardest to give what I can when I can, whether it's clothing or food. um, you know Keith, I'm glad you feel that way. Thank you. It's beautiful there. I give you that. Thank you. Why do you help them instead of trying to talk about why not help them? Sophia, listen, woman, I don't even know if you're a woman. You could be somebody just trying to target, and you're a man or whatever. I don't know who you are, but don't come at me like that. Don't. You are so ignorant for doing that. You have no idea what I do. I'm talking about them because I'm acknowledging them. Okay? I'm sharing information that I do know of, and I don't have to study. I see it. Because they can't leave their houses sometimes, I get them to come into my apartment and clean my apartment, and I can clean my own apartment. And I pay them above and beyond. Sometimes I just clean my whole entire fridge. I'm single. I have 2 dogs and I have a cat. I know if I have things in my fridge and I hear the kids, see, now I'm going to talk about what I do, and that's not what I want to do. I don't tell my left hand what my right hand's doing. When God says, when we do some kindness for people, we're not supposed to talk about it. We're just supposed to do it, But since you want to know what, or since you want to say what you want to say, then I will be open and vocal about it. That's my automatic light that went on, motion sensor. Yeah, I love to feed the children. And, every so often I just clean out my closet and I take them over clothes, shoes. I like to buy a lot of things online on Amazon. And many times, because I can't try the clothing on, or I don't like something, I just give it to them. Sometimes I have things that I know are worthy and I know they can sell it, like just some things, like a silver ring or a necklace or stuff, It's been 7 years, and it's just something that you do when you're here. You don't just sit and watch. Anyway, if you do, it's not like you're going to become a target. There are a lot of people that just sit and watch and they don't do anything to help. There are some people that do that, but most people that live here who are foreigners, they help in every way that they can, whether it is giving a tip. There was last year, there was a flood in an area where there's predominantly Haitian people. And it's because they throw a lot of garbage into the river. And the river got backed up when we had a lot of rain last year. And everyone's homes got flooded. Everyone. They lost everything. Their electronics, they have cell phones, right? Their fridges, their stoves, everything got wet. Their mattresses, everything. And I went, because I'm an influencer, and I have a Dominican Republic YouTube channel. It's my first and last name. I went on Facebook, and people know me here, and I asked a lot of people to to help out, and businesses came forward, and I got all these phone calls, and businesses on Pedro Clasante, the main street. A lot of foreigners were like, come pick up money, come pick up money. And I went and I was picking up money, like bundles of money. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I needed someone to help me make sandwiches, and people got together and helped me make sandwiches. And it just became like so beautiful. And I'll never forget that. We were making sandwiches. I went to the what we call here the China Tienda, but it's like considered like a dollar store. China Tienda just means Chinese store. And you can buy almost everything there. I went in there and I bought a whole bunch of goods like soaps, and because even though they didn't have water, they could still go into the river and bathe. So I bought soaps, I bought shampoos, I bought conditioners, I bought toothpaste, and my friends got together and they made hundreds of sandwiches, and then we also went to the local restaurant and we got like on one day 60 containers of food, and each container of food we got la bandera, and what that is like chicken, rice, beans, and salad. And it was a real beautiful thing to do for them. And I'll never forget how grateful they were. And so that, that doesn't happen all the time here. But other than that, I still made a lot of friends then. And I still go through that area. It's called Maranata. And I still go through there. And when I go through there, people see me and they hail me up and they're like, oh, hey, what's up? How are you? And sometimes I even see them in this area where I live, 10 minutes away from where it was. It's just a real beautiful family situation here. And Haitians and Dominicans and foreigners, we all live together in this area that I live in. It's a local area. And we all love each other and we all look out for each other. That they look out for me, and everyone knows that's a squatter house, but the Dominicans don't tell the policia, and the foreigners don't mind, and we know there's children living there and people that need to survive there. So we all look out for each other here, and for me, it's about humanity. And so, just to kind of bring it back, let me see, it's getting dark out here now because it gets dark here in the Dominican Republic. Let me see, Keith, to be fair, without voting the right way and promoting the correct policies, them immigrants and other marginalized people, who did you vote for? She's Canadian, it seems. Yeah, I'm Canadian, guys. I'm Canadian. I would, I'm not a political person. It's getting dark and my battery's just about to run out. Hold on. Let me see if I can get some light on out here. There we go. Let's see if that helps at all until my battery runs out. Maybe a little bit. Let me put the camera over here. I'll come over here and sit down. Maybe this will be better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Who did I vote for? So I didn't vote for anyone because I'm Canadian. And I've been living here for 7 years. But I'm not a party person. Like I don't look at the liberals and say, okay, they're liberal, I'm going to vote for them. And I don't look at the conservatives and say, okay, they're conservative, I'm going to vote for them. I would vote more for policy as opposed to party. And the politics in Canada is different than the politics in the United States. They work completely differently. So I can't really say we don't vote for the prime minister. We vote for the party, which is, I think, ridiculous. But you guys literally vote for your president. And I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, but I mean, we got talking about politics, and I'm really ignorant when it comes to a lot of politics, but I'm also very interested in politics. Like, I don't know a lot of history about politics, but I know enough because, like I said, I dated a dude back in the day who had his PhD in 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 political sciences, and he wrote a few books. He's a pretty popular guy. I wouldn't say his name right now because I don't want to get that much into that information. But I would, I'm more of a spiritual person, and I believe in meditating, getting up with the sun, and writing, and just really talking about what is happening day by day, you know? Um, I think I like to be fair with people, and I like people to be fair with each other too. And I just want everyone to be good with themselves, be good to each other, be good to your mind, be good to your soul, and be good to your body. Get some good food in you, get some nice smoothies in you. If you smoke cigarettes, do them in moderation. I don't judge people. If you drink, do it in moderation. But I think the main thing is just be good to your mind. Be really good to your mind. You got to think good thoughts. When you look in the mirror, don't pick yourself apart no matter what. When you are dealing with other people, try to understand that they had their own walk of life too, and they're not perfect. And we shouldn't be keyboard warriors and be mean to people, but we're all capable of it because we all have our opinions. And even me, sometimes I like to watch a lot of TikToks, and I like to watch a lot of Instagram, and sometimes I have to like pull it back in because I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's some people out there who, I can be very judgmental, like all of us can. But I think it's important for us to like kind of wind it back in a little bit every now and again. Don't pick fights with people just because we may not like them. Don't pick the speck. My mom used to say, don't pick the speck out of someone else's eye if you have a big old log in yours, And that's more what I like to talk about, because I do know that I'm not, I do know that I'm not perfect. And I would never say that I am. I have my things that I need to work on in life. I gained 80 pounds in the Dominican Republic, and that is hard to believe because most people, they eat fruits and they eat vegetables and everything. And I eat a lot of fruits and I eat a lot of vegetables, but I take motorcycle taxi everywhere. Ladies, por favor, tranquila. I take motorcycle taxi everywhere. Before I came to the Dominican Republic, I used to walk everywhere. Walking is amazing. You could just maintain your weight or lose weight. So yeah, I don't exercise here. And I started to eat rice, and I never used to eat rice. I started to eat chicken, and I was raised a vegetarian. My dad was a Rastafarian for many years. And so I wasn't raised on a lot of heavy meats or anything. And I even started to eat pork, and I would eat it late at night. I started to eat chicken wings, and I did that for about 3 years straight. Like, go out, hang out with a lot of the expats in the tourist area, go to some live jazz concerts and performances, or some live bands, and, just go and enjoy life, and, have a few drinks, and then buy some food on the way home, 11 o'clock at night. And it's a very meat eating type of country here. There's not a lot of vegetarian stores. So I got caught up in that, and I gained 80 pounds, and I didn't even realize I gained 80 pounds. I just knew I gained weight. And then I bought myself a scale on Amazon, and I was like, whoa, I weighed myself and I was 239 pounds. I'm 5'8.5". And I was 239 pounds. I was mortified. I didn't even realize I gained that much weight, 80 pounds. And I was like, wow. So now I lost 39 pounds, right? I went down to 200 and then I plateaued, which is not so bad because, I don't want to get, also, I don't want to get flabby skin, because I'm 53. I want to make sure that everything doesn't drop by losing it so quickly. So I plateaued for a little while, since December, and I haven't lost any weight since December. But now I'm in the process of getting back on track again. And I would say that is my demon. We all have demons, and that is mine, lack of exercise. And I really respect people that exercise. I respect people that literally make time to go to the gym or go walk, or, they really focus on their physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. So politics, I think, lies somewhere just in. I don't believe in politics. I don't believe they really exist. I just believe in opinions and hope when it comes to politics. I do believe that sometimes things do change. Policies do get passed and they do make a difference. But then, and religion as well, I think is also subjective, so I just tend to more believe in the spirit, just your voice, who you are, follow your heart, follow your gut, the intuitive voice inside. I think that is more where I feel more elevated. That's where I feel like I'm in my comfort zone, you know? And that's more me. Uh, but I'm also opinionated, and I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood in downtown Toronto. So I come from some rough backgrounds. I've seen a lot. And, I've been through a lot in my lifetime. I've been through a lot with relationships and, so that's why I think it's just such a comfort right now to be single. I've been single for 4 years and there's something so comfortable about spreading out in the bed. And, I share it with my dogs and my cat. I never thought I would have this many animals, right? But it feels good. They rely on me. They love me. And it's not so bad. My battery is about to just burn out right now. Well, you look close to an angel. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. Let me see, Sophia. Now you're talking real stuff. Well, thank you. Smith TV, you're a beautiful lady. Thank you, you guys. I really appreciate that. And Sophia, I'm glad that we can come eye to eye. And, hopefully you'll join me on my next live. Hopefully you will subscribe. And I know that this live turned into a whole other topic, but I don't mind that so much. I really do love talking about anything and everything. And I love that you guys are asking me these questions and sharing things with me. And I learned something new today from you, Keith, about Candace Owens. And I do appreciate her. I do, but we can always learn about people, right? It doesn't mean I'm going to judge her. It just means I'm like, whoa, that's a shock. Let me see. I feel you. I've been single for a year after a 7-year relationship. Robert, wow, 7-year relationship, single for a year now. Okay, that had to be tough at first. Maybe if you broke up, then maybe you really enjoyed the freedom. If the person broke up with you, then it was probably something you really had to get past. But there's a beauty in that. There's a beauty in just not having to, I guess, just being able just to be chill. I really love just being alone. I love it. I love content creating. I love writing my books. I love making my own plans. Although, trust me, it always feels good to meet someone and fall in love. Nothing really beats that either. So love is such a beautiful thing, and I think it completes a lot of people. But I'm at the point in my life right now where I have been through a lot. I have had a lot of negative relationships. And I've given love so many tries that when I do it again, I'm not jaded. It's just I when I'm ready to do it again, it just really needs to fit. It just needs to just be like, this is it. Like effortless, seamless. It just needs to be like, all right, boom. We have some good things to talk about. We have some laughter. Laughter is so important in a relationship. We laugh together. We talk about some, heavy topics or whatever's on TV, or, share our fears, our success. Oh, my phone is going to literally give out, and like there's like only 4%. But I love you guys. It it was, is it for not my two pets, Frost and Petey. Oh, Frost and Petey. Hey, Jimmy James. Yes, Frost and Petey. Oh, those are really cute names. And yeah, I mean, our animals are there for us. I read something online that our animals are like a page in our life, but we are their whole book. We are their whole entire book, but they're like a page or a chapter in our life. And one day I looked at my dog Noche and I was like, "You're my book." And I looked at her, "You're not just my chapter." And she looked at me and she was like, like she almost understood. And after I read that, I was like, I got to make it a point to make sure that they are a huge part of my book. They are already. I live here alone. I mean, no one comes over to my place. I don't have company purposely. I don't like any energy in my home. I don't like unless it's like a family member or a real good friend. And I have children. My son is 30 and my daughter is 36, and they don't come here often. My daughter's never been here. My son has been here once. So I'm completely alone, and I just really share my time in prayer and meditation and content creating, writing, and just being around the locals here. Learning a language when I first came here was really great too, because it just exercises the brain. I didn't know Spanish before I came here. Take it slow the next time. That is what I'm doing. Oh, Robert, yes, definitely take it slow. They are real therapeutic, big part of my books. Oh, I don't have any children. That's the thing. A lot of people who are animal lovers and they don't have children, I always tell them that they're not missing out on anything, because me having children, I had my daughter when I was 17, right? And I had my son when I was 23. And now that era is gone, that phase is gone, and I'm actually a grandmother now. And I'm with my dog now and my cat and my new little puppy. Um, they're my babies. They're my children. And they are both, they all look out for each other as well. My dog Noche, she's a cat lover. When she hears a cat outside go in the middle of the night, it's like she gets up and she goes, she gets so upset. So for me, they're all, she knows I'm talking about her. She's right here. You want to come up, Noche, and say hi to everybody before the phone goes out? Ven aquí, amor. Ven, arriba. Arriba. There we go. Here she is. Whoops, oops. Hold on. Hold on. Her legs are very wiry. Look how skinny her legs are. She's part poodle and part schnauzer. I bought her when she was like way too young. They were selling her on the street for 1,000 pesos, which is like $20. And she was like the size of her nose when I got her. I had to teach her how to poo. I was like, why isn't, I went online and I'm like, why isn't my puppy pooping? And they said, well, your puppy's probably too young to like have been taken away from the mom if your puppy's not pooping. I had to learn how to make her poo. And that was like really awesome. And here is my other little one right here. You guys are going to love her too. Look. Hi. As you notice, both of them just so full of love. This one's Loose. The other one's Noche because she's black, and it's Noche means night, Noche. And this one's Luz, Luz, and Loose means light. So night and light. And my cat is somewhere. Her name is Besos, which means kisses. She was all I rescued her. She was also too tiny to be away from her mom. And the only thing that would calm her down would be giving her kisses. So I named her Besos. So yeah, we have light, noche, and besos, kisses. Light kisses at night. Right? Yes. This one's always sneaking kisses. I don't know what she is. She's a Chihuahua, obviously. Her ears are not up yet. I just got her a week and a half ago. And she's still making her way around, right? Yes, that's you. Do you see yourself on there? We're still going through training. If you guys know what it's like to train a puppy. So we're going through training and, you know, she's doing her best. But yeah, so this is my two little pups and they're happy as can be. And they are my pride and joy. And Noche is 6.5 years old. So I got her when I was only here for 6 months. And Besos is a year. And this one here is apparently 3 months old. I don't know. I was sitting outside and a guy came over to me. He runs a prostitution house. And I was sitting outside at a Colmado, that's like a corner store, and I was sitting with a few of my friends, and we were all having a little bit of cerveza, and we were just chilling, and he came over with her. She was smaller then. She grew a lot in the last week and a half, but he came over and he just plunked her on my lap, and he said, "Es para ti, uno regala," and I was like, "A gift," and he's like, "It's a gift," and I was like, "I have a dog, like." I can't take a dog. And he walked away. And she had a little bit of mange on the back, which is already gone. I'm really proud of that. You see, it's gone. She's chocolate. You can't really see. She looks darker, but she's chocolate. And there was mange on her back and 3 little spots. And she was too young to get the neck guard, like the medication to take it away. She was itching, she was scratching. I just brought her home, washed her up, and put some coconut oil on her and combed her out with this little comb right here. And sprayed her with oil right here. And I do that every couple of days.